Hello everyone, welcome back to Logical History Bharat channel, the channel that digs deeper into history to bring you the hard facts of today. I'm going to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic period, a time I hope none of us have forgotten. The immense pain, the suffering, and the heartbreaking losses that each one of us endured. Today, there is very hot news making waves. Tulsi Gabbard served as the Director of National Intelligence (DNI) in the United States, one of the highest and most powerful positions in the American government. She was sworn in on 12th February 2025 and held this critical office until she resigned in May 2026, with her last day being 30th June 2026. As DNI, she had very high statutory authority to access and declassify classified information for the public. This has sparked intense discussion about what sensitive documents related to the COVID-19 pandemic may have been or could still be released before she stepped down from that powerful position. I will now play her own statement clip, which was given to the Times of India and many other global news publishers. To watch the full video, I have put the link in the description box below.
Today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Virology and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research.
Confirmed COVID deaths surpassed 7 million worldwide. Using excess mortality, the difference between expected and actual deaths, estimates range from 14.9 million WHO 2020-2021 to over 18 million. Entire families wiped out. In many poor countries, people died at home without oxygen or basic care. The virus did not act alone. Overwhelmed hospitals, lockdowns, and disrupted care led to indirect deaths, cancer treatments delayed, heart attacks untreated. For survivors and families, millions lost loved ones, facing grief compounded by financial ruin. Many spent life savings on treatment, oxygen, and funerals, only to end up in debt. Small businesses bore the brunt. In the US alone, nearly 43% temporarily closed in early 2020. Globally, tens to hundreds of thousands permanently shut down, especially in hospitality, retail, and tourism. India itself witnessed its largest ever GDP contraction, a shocking -24% in the April-June 2020 quarter. The Indian economy was losing over 32,000 rupee crore per day during the initial lockdown period. Unemployment skyrocketed. In April 2020 alone, nearly 122 to 140 million people lost their jobs, many of them small traders, daily wage laborers, migrant workers, and those in the informal sector. Small businesses, especially in hospitality, retail, tourism, and street vending, were devastated. Tens of thousands of MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises either shut down permanently or struggled for survival. Over 45% of households reported a sharp drop in income, pushing millions deeper into poverty. The informal sector, which employs the vast majority of India's workforce, suffered the most. India had the second highest number of reported cases globally and suffered one of the worst impacts during the devastating second wave in 2021 April-May, when hospitals were overwhelmed and oxygen shortages were widespread. WHO estimate 2022. Around 4.7 million express deaths in India between 2020 and 2021, nearly 10 times the official count at that time. Official deaths, 5,34,000. Homeowners and renters took loans or depleted savings to survive. When payments came due, foreclosures and evictions rose. Many became homeless. Families doubled up or moved in with relatives, destroying stability for generations. Stock markets plunged in March 2020. Ordinary people, using retirement or emergency savings as investments, suffered heavy losses. Meanwhile, the ultra-wealthy bought the dip, snatching up distressed assets, real estate and stocks at rock-bottom prices. Many AAA-rated companies hit lows, only to rebound 5x, 10x or more as economies reopened. The rich got richer. How did this virus emerge with such devastating force? Investigations point to high-risk gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at China's Wuhan Institute of Virology. US funding through NIAID under Dr. Anthony Fauci supported EcoHealth Alliance grants R01AI 110964 that sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to WIV for chimeric virus experiments. These created hybrid coronaviruses to test human infectivity in lab models, including mice that became sicker than expected. The P3CO framework was designed to oversee such enhanced potential pandemic pathogen work with strict risk-benefit reviews. Yet the EcoHealth project largely bypassed deep scrutiny. Reporting lapses and weak monitoring allowed the work to continue. The rejected diffuse proposal further revealed plans for inserting furin cleavage sites, features central to SARS-CoV-2. Outgoing Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard declassified documents alleging Dr. Fauci directly funded this dangerous research, worked with intelligence officials to suppress the lab leak theory, and provided misleading testimony to Congress. The release highlights Fauci's influence in shaping narratives away from US-linked research at WIV, contradicting earlier statements. It also exposes broader US funding of global biolabs. Whether accidental leak due to negligence or other factors, the combination of risky science, inadequate oversight, and China's aggressive cover-up turned a potential lab incident into a global catastrophe. Dual-use research ethics require prioritizing precaution when stakes are millions of lives. Here, ambition and weak guardrails prevailed. While ordinary people suffered the unimaginable, losing loved ones, jobs, homes, and life savings, a darker story unfolded at the top. The pandemic triggered one of the greatest wealth transfers in modern history. This raises hard questions about who truly benefited from the chaos. Was it purely market forces, or the result of policies that protected the connected while crushing everyone else? Recent developments add another layer. In June 2026, outgoing Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard released declassified documents alleging Dr. Anthony Fauci funded risky research at Wuhan and helped shape narratives away from the lab leak possibility. Why release this now, just before leaving office? Some see it as long overdue transparency. Others question the timing. Could it be political diversion from other global crises, like tensions involving Iran, or simply accountability at last? Many ask, was this really an accident? Or was it something far darker? In my view, COVID-19 was no natural disaster. It was a deliberate act. A virus engineered in a lab, funded by US money through Dr. Anthony Fauci and EcoHealth, then released from China as part of a planned operation. Fauci may have been just a visible scapegoat, while bigger forces operated in the shadows. Look at the 2011 movie Contagion. It showed a virus starting in Hong Kong from a bat pig jump, almost exactly how officials first told us COVID began. The writer Scott Z. Burns was eerily accurate with location, spread, panic, and even misinformation. How could a Hollywood film predict so much? Was it preparing the public mind to accept a natural origin story while the real plan unfolded? Think deeper. The world had a huge problem, global warming. Industries, cars, planes, everything was polluting. Then suddenly, the whole world shut down. Factories stopped, travel stopped, emissions dropped. And after 2 years of lockdowns, nobody talks about climate emergency the same way. Coincidence? Or was the virus a tool to force the world to pause, to reset the economy while the rich bought everything cheap? The poor died without treatment. Families lost everything. Small businesses were destroyed. People sold their homes and assets in desperation. Meanwhile, the ultra-rich grabbed those assets at bargain prices and watched stocks rebound 50 times. They profited while humanity suffered. This was not just a pandemic. In my point of view, it was a planned operation by powerful interests, US, China, and hidden hands working together. They used humans as lab rats for profit and control. I am Savio Lasrado, host of Logical History Bharat, the channel that digs deeper into history to bring you the hard facts of today. It's my humble request to all of you. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends and family. Your support genuinely motivates me to bring you better content every single day.